It's awful.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Two Comma Coffee Club. And I am Valerie. And with me today is my co-host, Coffee Girl Michelle. Our wonderful Lene is out today on another assignment. But we have with us today our wonderful guest, Mary Hils. Mary has been part of the Neville community for a while, and she has had some huge breakthroughs that we're going to talk about today. And she has also launched in the interim pardon her hand there, adjusting the screen, a podcast and YouTube channel. So we've got several main topics to talk about, and she's also published a couple of books on Amazon. So we have a few main things to talk about, and in addition to which, she's also a fantastic dog and pet sitter, and just got a huge honor for that in your home state of Connecticut. You want to just say a little bit about that first? Welcome to the show.
Good to be here. I just got an email saying that I was one of the top pet sitters in the state, which is interesting because I've been doing this for 20 years. And it's not just pet sitting. Yeah, thank you. It's I do everything. I've been doing it for 20 years, so it's quite an honor to get noticed because I've been providing services for years. Okay. Yeah. I'm off my game.
That's okay. So one of the key things that, we wanted to get into that when we were discussing, our main talking points is one of your big breakthroughs was recognizing how you had been at war for decades. This is a key concept when we talk about manifesting, is when we're at war with ourselves or, seemingly with other people, but it really comes back to how we're feeling about ourselves. So would you like to go into that a little bit, Mary?
Yeah. I've been warring. I'm 62 years old, and I've been warring since I was a little baby. And I found that when I was an infant, I used to rock my playpen across the floor and bang my head. So right then started my war game dance, I like to call it. And the whole 60 something years, believe me when I say I have been at war. And never realized it. Now I researched and studied and tried to figure out, why was I like this? Why is my family so messed up too? So it's just interesting to look at it now from, studying Neville Goddard and discovering, wow, I can actually connect the dots to my imagination, creating all of this chaos, drama, trauma. I created it all. And so I just basically owned that I was 100% responsible for everything in my life. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So that was interesting to find that. I think I got introduced to Neville around 2017 or 2018, right around that time. Because back in 2016, I lost my older brother to suicide. And then 10 months later, my mother died. And then a year later, not a year later, my younger brother died. And then my husband of 20 years died. And then I lost my two dogs. So I've had a lot of drama and trauma. And then I was right in the middle. I found right at the beginning, I found Neville. And then I was able to get through all of this grief, for lack of a better word, because I kept on being aware of who I was, and what awareness of being is the big key that we get from, we're always talking that with 2020, awareness of being. What was I aware of being? Okay. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of drama. I've been in hospitals, institutions, and death. I've had problems with drugs, been down that road like you wouldn't believe. So the fact that I'm still standing upright is a miracle. But I'm here to say, through all of that stuff and all that grief and all that stuff, to come out the other side and go, wow, number one, who am I? Number two, discovering that in a little bit of a journey, discovering who I am has just been amazing. I wrote that book, I can't even remember the name, Playful Neville Goddard Creation from My Imagination. I wrote a book back in 2019. I've been writing for years, so I'm very much found my passion again for loving writer. I found my passion again for creation. I've been doing pet care for 20 years. I'm back now combining Neville, myself, and pets all in one program. I'm boarding dogs now, and I got kenneling going on here. There's all kinds of neat stuff going on. And I get to explore this wonderful stuff with pets. It's always been there because I see stuff that I've written about from 2009. I was writing for e-zine articles about pets, and I found all the stuff that I've already been writing about. And now I'm putting it all together in one package deal. And I get to play with it with the clients that I've been getting. I've been getting tons. I had a client for boarding for 7 weeks. This client I've had since 2009. I've been pet sitting in her home. She got very ill, 80 years old, very, very ill. And I ended up taking her dogs for 7 weeks.
So I want to say at this juncture, one of the things we were talking about prior to the show was that this is a wonderful way that you began to imagine lovingly for others through the pets and through that experience. So how that turned out for you. You can go ahead. Go ahead.
She's gone. Okay.
No, she'll be back. No, that's okay. She'll be back.
I'm back. I was turning the light on. It just started to pour down outside and it all went dark.
I know it's dark in here too. But anyways, this client actually had her. She was a professor, and she read my book even that I did, and she loved it. Now here she's very sick, and she wants me to take her dogs, which I did for 7 weeks, and she kept on getting sicker and sicker. And then I just said to myself, you know what? I am not even going to accept this. I'm going to imagine lovingly for her and her walking her dogs. Now, it came down to the point where she didn't want her dogs anymore. Then I started imagining the end, which is her lovingly walk her dogs. Guess what? She took her dogs back. She's healed incredibly, and she's walking her dogs, which she hasn't done in all the years I would tell her, you need to walk your dogs. They're on an invisible fence, but they need to be walked. Yeah. I could tell by their behaviors, and I've been telling her this. Now she's walking. She has a desire to walk her dogs.
That's lovely.
That's the beauty of this. I could just see, just like a little seed coming out of the ground, and you see the little something sprouting. That's what's happening in my pet business. It's evolving into this because as you board them, I had a boarder for a week. Another week, I fell in love with the dog, but she had all kinds of issues, health issues. And I said, oh, what a great place that I can play, imagining the mommy and daddy of these pets taking better care, healthier care of their dogs. Usually I'll tell them, you need to do this, that, and another thing. That's what I used to do because I know natural health. And so now I can just imagine them, the dog healthy and happy. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then go from there. I mean, it's happening over and over and over again. I'm getting another one this weekend, same thing. But this time I told her a different story. I told her how I'm going to handle this with the dog issue. So anyways,
No, yeah, I
Mary,
mean, isn't that
sorry.
fantastic, right? Oh, Michelle, go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say how fantastic it is that you just, as soon as the desire's upon you, you just imagine lovingly, or you just said it. But what I was going to ask is, do you have a routine, a Neville routine as such? So do you do anything when you wake up, or do you do stats when you go to bed?
I do it, but I have been, as of late, or actually when the loogie thing came, that 2020s always talk about, I how could I put this? I had a difficult time playing with that, because in 2020, when the loogie came around, I was in bed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was thoroughly depressed. I gave up. I think the only thing that really saved me was Neville. I didn't want to live. I absolutely didn't. And suicide and depression is entwined through my family, although I've revised that and pruned it. But it's been very, I had a really hard time with the loogie, not because of I was afraid of it, but because of people were insane. And I didn't want no part of it. And so I stayed in the house and I stayed in my bed and I just stopped any kind of routine. Now, I tried to get back into it. I do the sessions, but I do them differently for me. I noticed I'm waking up all throughout the night, which I'm having fun with. Now I can get up and have a session, not trying to force, do it this way, but actually I can just fall into having sessions. And then trying to do this, because I just finished Triple D second time around. I just finished it last week.
And that's, of course, Dream Driven Day.
Dream Driven Day is setting the day up. But what I noticed that I've been having trouble when we had the 2020 with the loogie thing. I was totally disconnected from my body. So all my learning of looking out through your eyes and seeing whatever the end result is, the end game is, I couldn't do it because I'm disconnected from my body. So I had to go in a different direction. I had to learn what's my desire. Well, geez, I think I've been at war with my body for 60 years. Like I've been at war with the world. And now it's time to have a loving relationship with my body for a change instead of trying to drug it, starve it, beat it, all the wonderful things that I do.
She got me excited then. You're upside down, Mary.
You're upside down.
That's fun. Hello.
Miss Flippers, there you go.
That's it. We've seen her on the flip side now.
You just gotta laugh. I swear. It's upside down, and that's what I feel like.
Well, here we go again.
Yes, no, this is not gonna work. That's what I was all set up on the laptop.
Anything goes on this show.
That's why I hate Mac. I hate MacBook. I should have stuck with droids. I know droids. I know PCs. Anything Apple, it's not my thing. Believe me, and I was in electronics for 20 years. I can fix anything. I know. I fixed everything, software, hardware. I'm very techie savvy, but I'll tell you what, I can't combine the MacBook Pro with the
So we're not going to have a lot more time, but is there anything, people are just, our audience is getting a little how the Mary Hils experience of really how powerful this has been for you to be involved with Neville and manifesting, and especially manifesting in combining your two passions, which has been dogs, pet care, sitting, and incorporating manifesting into that. So if there's anything, Mary, that you want to say to finish off on that.
Basically, if you can, I had to find what worked for me. So I wake up in the morning in the middle of the night and I do sessions. I don't do them per se at night and try to force myself to do them in the morning. I have to do them
when you're ready.
What works for me. And that's what's been working for me. And I've had the most wonderful fun and playing with that, learning about, what works for me, what makes sense for me. Like I said, I tried to force myself to do this, force myself to do that. I have been unable since that loogie thing. And here we go. There's never another cause except for ourselves. But I've been having a ball since Triple D, evolving my business and playing. I think the biggest thing to take away is you have to make this fun and you have to play with yourself and take and run with it that way. Find out what what your desires are and just simply play with them. That's my biggest takeaway.
So if you were to get what would you say to the people that are watching would be your best tool, for example? What technique would you advise them to use?
I believe it or not, I use whatever your passion is, use that for a tool. For me, I write, and when I write, things it's like I am doing a session through my writing. I've been a writer for years, but now my writing has turned into sessions. So it could be painting. I mean, you could be a painter, you could be, in nature or whatever your passion is. Go there and play there. I think it's the easiest way to find out who you are and play there. That's all I can say. I think that's the tool, is using whatever your passion is and going there and playing there. Does that make sense?
Wow. Whole new way to play, just explore the way that's best for you. And is there a way people can find you online, or you have YouTube going, you have books out on Amazon?
Yep, I do. I have the book on Amazon. I could give you the link later, but I'm playing with a new medium now. I'm doing like Feeling Twisty. I'm doing Podbeans, and I'm calling myself a pet imaginer, and I'm having a ball. So look for me on I think it's Pet Styler Mary on
Podbean.
The Podbean, and I'm on Instagram, the same thing, Pet Styler Mary. And then I have two websites. One's www.petexct.com. Now that was from my mother, so it's PetX and then CT for Connecticut, because my mother goes, we should start a pet sitting business, and she thought of FedEx. You know how FedEx is? Well,
yeah.
This is PetX. So that's why it's yeah, she was one, petexct.com. And I have another one, Mary Hils with 1L, lifestyler.com. So I have a ton of different medias going on that I am just playing with and seeing if I can merge them all together in one. Does that make sense?
Fantastic. And what are the names of your books on Amazon, Mary?
It's a playful Neville Goddard creation using my imagination. It's kind of long-winded. So it's a playful Neville Goddard creation from my imagination. And I did that around 2019. I just reread it this year again. I put it away, and I said, there's exercises in there. Some of it comes from, Mr. 2020. Some of it comes from Neville. And then some of it comes from my experiences. There's some really neat stuff in there. And I have another book. I found another book that I wrote and forgot about. So I will be doing another book.
That's fantastic. And just to confirm, just before we end the show, Mary, what have been some recent successes? You mentioned about how you imagined lovingly for your clients. Has there been any others that you can tell us about?
Yes, there's quite a few situations, and for some reason my mind just went blank, where I imagined, there was I'm on a lot of pet sitter sites, and there was a lady, another pet sitter, that was having difficulty walking her pet client's dog. And it was really nervous, and it was a rescue dog. And I've been going in there and now and just Nevilleizing it and telling them, why don't you imagine you've already had lovely walks, simple, with your dog. Week later, guess what? She's posting, she's having quote unquote lovely walks with her dog. It's just simple. So I've just been, playing around in that. Those are major little, not major, but little mini successes that I've had within the pet business.
Every win's a win.
Doesn't matter, big or small, right? You guys were talking about on the last one.
We just
did that on the last one. Yes, right. Size doesn't matter.
Well, it does. But anyways, when I first got into Neville in about 18, I always had a deep down desire to go to Hawaii. And so I did what he said, and I imagined going to Hawaii, and then my sister moves there. So then I imagined I was seeing her, we're on the beach and we're clicking champagne glasses. We click glasses. Well, lo and behold, she sends me, she asked me to come out there. I was there for 10 days, everything paid for. And we got there, we were on the beach, and instead of champagne glasses, we clicked beer bottles. So, see, I had the big successes when I started, but the thing is, you got to be ready for those successes. See, me and my sister are like oil and vinegar. So 2 days into it, I was going to leave. And then I go, Neville, what does he say? I says, I'm going to imagine my loving sister. And the next morning she came and kissed me on the cheek. If you knew my sister, you would know that was pure imagination at work. After that, we had the most glorious time on the island. And I'm telling you, I was there 2 days and I was going to leave. I was trying to figure out how to come back home because that's how bad it had gotten with her. And I'm going, hell no. And I'm going to imagine my loving sister. And she did. She came right up to kiss me on the cheek. Beautiful. See, that's how simple it is.
That's right.
I've got story after story after story. I have the big ones at the beginning, but the thing was, you have to be ready. You know what I mean? It's one thing to imagine you're going to be in Hawaii, but you have to imagine actually feeling what that really, really feels like. That good, do you know what I mean? I'm not used to feeling good. So when it came, look what happened with me and my sister. Same thing.
What you could have done is you got to the point of the wish that you imagined being in Hawaii, but you didn't. This is why Tony always says, get beyond the wish. So had you have imagined maybe a loving photo of you and your sister and your arms around each other and you fondly looking at the picture going, we had an amazing time. Then that could have altered your visit. But hey, maybe. Neville worked and you still had a fantastic time, and it just confirms how this works.
Yeah. The other thing Neville says is, when something doesn't go quite the way you were expecting it to like that, don't beat yourself up, forgive yourself, and go back and do it again and just keep doing it until it feels totally natural.
70 times 7.
70 times 7. Yeah. Just
7 times. Keep on doing it.
At least, and just do it over and over again. You're like an actor rehearsing your line, seconds, of the part, and you might miss a line, a word, a beat or something, but you go back, you keep doing it. You get that you're everything. You're the producer, the director, the actor, the audience, the whole thing, so yeah.
We set the stage.
Just wondering, how do you know when you play and when you explore, Neville? A lot of questions we get from people in our emails or from our Facebook page is they always say, "How do you know it's done in your imagination?" So for you, how do you know when it's done?
I feel it deeply within me, like an inner voice. It's finished. It's done. It's just like this deep knowing, and I never have to come back to it again. I just know that I know that I know. It's like a deep, not, 2020 calls it relief, but I just go, it's done. That's it. I just know that it's done. It's almost like on one of his audios, he talks about the 18-inch adventure. So it goes from your head down, right? So it goes down to your stomach. That's where it goes. It goes completely down. I just know it, and I never have to think about it. It's those ones that you got to go, well, gee, did I get it? That that you didn't get it right because you're questioning it.
That's what I always say.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's it for me. That's what I know.
It's just a deep knowing within yourself, trusting it's done.
I don't want to, I just push. It's almost like I close the door, like Abdullah did.
Yeah. There you go.
Close the door. Boom. I don't want to, I'm not going to let myself, play with it anymore. It's done. Remember what he did? He slammed the door.
He
Boom.
did.
He sure did.
Yeah. That's another.
I did a whole chapter on that in my book, Mary, about the state of Abdullah.
Yeah, shut that door.
Exactly. Shut the damn door. It's done.
I also STFU, shut door, STFD.
Yeah.
I like better because that works for me. Sometimes I have to be most, violent with my words to get me to go, yeah, I can relate to slamming doors. I've been a slammer door my whole life. So I could relate to that. You slammed the door on it. You did it. You felt it. Done. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Fantastic.
Thank you so much for today, Mary. I've really enjoyed chatting with you.
Once we get through the technical difficulty.
Oh, you were great. And do come back and be on with us again down the line. We'd love to, hear how things progress and all the new stuff you're doing, and keep the audience up to date.
I hope you got something back from it. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Nice meeting you, Michelle, and nice seeing you live.
Thank you, Mary. You too.
Thank you for having me on, girls.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to go have some coffee now.
There you go, to celebrate.
See, it's as easy as manifesting over a cup of coffee with us coffee girls.
I love it. Love it, love it. Listen, it's so true. And I'm a coffee freak. I get my coffee delivered to my house. I love coffee. So thank you, ladies. You have a nice day or evening or wherever you are.
We will.
Okay.
And they're to stay with us for more coffee, they're gonna find us on YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And have I left anything out? There's always something. Neville Summit Store. Our books are at the neville.summit.com.
Yes, they are.
/store.
If anybody would like us to include any discussions, topics, or if they have a question for any future episode, they can email them to us at 2coffeeclub@gmail.com.
Great.
Thank you very much for today, Mary. It's been lovely.
Okay, you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.